8A, the gender bias application. If we examine the past 9 years of 8A program eligibility, we can see the number of Caucasian women-owned 8A firms approved during each year. It became far more difficult to get an application for a Caucasian woman-owned business to make it through the process during the 2010 to 2012 time period. The SBA has begun to loosen up a bit in 2013 and 2014. This is because the SBA had previously adapted the preponderance of evidence standard for Caucasian women. The SBA has now adapted the clear and convincing standard, which gives more favorable light to the Caucasian woman-owned business 8A applicant. So why are some Caucasian women-owned applicants able to prove they're socially disadvantaged and receive their 8A certification while others are not? The answer is that the approved applicants submitted a much more compelling and detailed narrative. What the SBA looks for in a narrative. The applicant needs to show a lifetime of gender bias, showing that discrimination has caused the individual to be less successful financially than they would have been had they not suffered from discrimination. To provide evidence of a lifetime of discrimination, the applicant should relate incidents during early life, education, employment, and time spent running their business. Let's first analyze what the OHA has determined as not meeting the standard. Failed application stories. Education. The applicant attended an all-girls college and felt like this caused her to be negatively perceived, therefore made less money than her male coworkers. Why this failed? The SBA was not provided enough detailed information specifically about the male coworkers, their experience levels, qualifications, and the on-the-job performance to determine if this was the cause of lower wages. Employment. The applicant was told to entertain customers by taking them out for drinks and dress a certain way during this occasion. Why this failed? This is clearly not an appropriate request from an employer, but the narrative failed to describe how this incident or incidents impacted her career. How did taking clients to bars impact her ability to be more or less successful? Business. The applicant had contacted U.S. military installations and was told that the installation did not have set-aside contracts available for WOSB firms, only for HubZone and 8A certified firms. Why this failed? A set-aside contract, although advantageous to the certification holders that are able to obtain them, does not constitute gender bias, as the applicant could have used other avenues to successfully bid on contracts. Approved application stories. Education. The applicant was advised by her high school guidance counselor not to pursue a program she was very interested in because the work was too physical in nature for women, so she didn't pursue it. She was also told by the same counselor not to pursue a field in engineering because that was a man's job. Therefore, she didn't pursue it. Women in her family were not permitted to obtain a driver's license as her father would not allow it. This caused her to lose out on other opportunities in life at an early age. Employment. The applicant worked as a bank teller for a bank where all the tellers were women and the managers were men. She worked at the bank for a period of 5 years and never received a raise. When a management position became available, the organization had a policy that the job would be listed on a job board and current employees would have the first opportunity to bid for the job. When she asked her manager why the job had not been posted on the job board and if she could apply for it, she was told, "I need to get a man to watch over all of you," referring to all the female tellers. Therefore, she missed out on the opportunity to enter management at the bank due to being a woman. This story had a corroborating letter from a past coworker. Business. The applicant attended a pre-bid meeting for a construction contract where she was the only woman in the room. The male representative of the company's management holding the meetings refused to talk with her. This story was corroborated by a letter from a male who was in attendance at the meeting. The female business owner completed phase 1 of a project, and when she asked when they were going to begin phase 2 of the project, she was told phase 2 was too complicated for her because she was a woman. The woman business owner later hired a male estimator to go with her on jobs so she would be taken seriously, even though this was work she was more than capable of performing herself. This story was corroborated by a letter from a former employee who was the estimator. It is critical for a Caucasian woman-owned 8A applicant to make certain that she has some good stories to retell before starting the application process. The SBA consistently follows these criteria to determine whether or not the applicant passes the test for being socially disadvantaged. And if you do not follow this formula, your application will result in denial. Thanks for watching. To further evaluate you and your firm's potential application, you can go to our website and use our pre-qualification tool, or give us a call. In about 10 minutes, we can give you a good assessment of your application.